Ayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavadpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. This one you can repeat after me. We have sent it on the WhatsApp groups, so you can look at it afterwards. Om Narayanah Paro Vyaktat Om Narayanah Paro Vyaktat Andam Avyakta Sambhavam Andasyantastvime lokaha Andasyantastvime lokaha Saptadvipa cha medini Saptadvipa cha medini. Yesterday we talked of many things. We talked of samsara, which is best defined as some sorrow or the other. That is all it is. And we also talked about the problem with samsara. And what is this samsara? Where does it stay? Where is the location of the samsara? Yes, right in the head. And so it is in the form of wrong notions about the universe, about the maker of the universe, Ishvara, Bhagavan, and then about what else? Most importantly, oneself. So wrong notions means what? They need to be corrected. So if it is a notional sorrow, it's a notion of sorrow. It's not an ocean of sorrow, it's a notion of sorrow. And so a notional sorrow cannot be removed physically by action. The notion has to be removed how? Notionally, by understanding it properly. You know, they say that it takes a diamond to cut a diamond. And then what else? Another example, it takes a thorn to remove another thorn. So similarly here, it takes this notion is removed by understanding the truth of the self. So then the next point, which was very important yesterday, that we tried to understand, was this: that there are points of view about how to see various things. There are many points of view, but we are not interested in that. And Vedanta is also not one more point of view. This is extremely important to understand. Why? Because it is a means of knowing something which cannot be known any other manner. In any other way, it cannot be known. And so therefore, it is a means of knowledge. And so since it is a means of knowledge, what do I have to do? I have to surrender to that means of knowledge. Just like I surrender to my eyes. So supposing if I say, please close your eyes but look at this flower, you will not be able to oblige. The eyes are open and the object of sight is right in front, and then what happens? You see that whatever there is to see, you see. This is how the pramana works. The pramana does not brook any raga and dvesha. These two terms we will be seeing a lot in the Bhagavad Gita. Raga, strong preferences; dvesha, strong prejudices. So the pramana does not have any room for whether you want it to be red or not. It does not come in the way of knowing. Do you want this? No, I want this rose to be blue. There is something called blue rose. There is such a thing. So now I want that to be that rare rose which somebody has done some hybrid and then grown. I want it to be a blue rose. Will it change just because I want it? No. This is called Vastu Tantram Jnanam. Vastu Tantram means the knowledge is as good as the object. It has nothing to do with the viewer of this knowledge. It has absolutely nothing to do with the viewer of this knowledge. It has to do with what? It has to do with how it is, what the object is. Vastu Tantram. Tantram dependent upon Vastu, object. I can have many feelings about that flower. I can have many questions. I can say, oh, but I want the rose to have petals like, what is this, chrysanthemum. Will it oblige? No, it will continue to be how it is. And then if I am seeing chrysanthemum in this rose, then what should I do? Have my, not eyes, mind examined. Because I am not seeing what is there. I am seeing what is not there. And in Vedanta also, this is the problem. The whole samsara is seeing what is not there and not seeing what is there. This is the mistake. And then I said also this mistake is very peculiar only for human beings. Animals do not have this mistake. Animals also have self-ignorance. The cat doesn't think I am Bhagavan. Well, sometimes that is disputable. Yeah, but for those who have had cats, but generally speaking, it doesn't have that desire to go and study Vedanta. It doesn't have that thing. So one mistake is there, that it doesn't know itself. The second mistake, therefore I must be an idiot, is only comes to the human lot, not to any other being. So ajnanam, not knowing; anyatha jnanam, knowing something how I want it to be or how I am afraid it is. This is the problem. This is exactly how the problem is, and this is why Vedanta is needed as a means of knowing. A special means of knowing where the eyes cannot go, where the speech, meaning inference, does not go. Na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, no manaha, where the mind cannot go. No means no. Sanskrit no and English no, same. Okay? No manaha, na u manaha. Na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, no manaha. This is what it is. Nothing, there is no other way of knowing than to rely on the words of the Gita, of the Upanishads, in order to know the truth of myself. That is why Vedanta is not one more mata, one more opinion, one more darshana. Darshana means what? Way of seeing. It's not a way of seeing. Why? Because it is something, it is in keeping with my own wants. Yesterday we also touched upon the Purusharthas. Does anybody want to be insecure? No. Does anybody want to feel sad? No. And so therefore, the message of Vedanta, which is very beautiful, you are all fullness, you are everything that you want to be, the seeker is the sought, this is the message. And this message becomes very, very precious. because it's in keeping with my deepest desire, and I will go so far as to say the only desire. And if this only desire is not recognized as the only desire, then what happens? It populates, this desire morphs and sprays itself onto objects, and as a result, what happens to me? I become centered on various objects. It's a distraction because I don't recognize the depth of this desire, the depth of this only longing, only craving. So then that craving morphs into many names and many forms, and therefore I end up falling in love with the names and forms in the universe and then wanting them to be infinite. What are the names and forms? Finite. What do I want them to be? Infinite. That's why we are not interested in the thing. We are interested in it, the permanence of the thing. Whatever you desire, you are not interested in that thing. In India, this is very common. I got a job and the other person says, congrats. Is it permanent? Yeah. Permanent means what? So, do you want the job or do you want permanence? This is what we have to see. We have to see through how the everyday talk goes. This is what it is. They don't ask the same question about marriage because they know better. Nobody says, is the marriage permanent? So, say everything. I moved. I'm moving to a new house. Is it yours? Meaning, it will be, if it is yours, then it is permanent. It belongs to you. If it belongs to somebody else, it is not. Actually, even the so-called your house belongs to the bank in every country. Yeah, that's why you don't get the title of the deed until one is on the deathbed. One does not get the title of the house. The title is with the bank or the financing agency. And so like this, we are interested, even in the marriage vows, even the fifth marriage, people will say, this time it is forever. You want the marriage or you want the forever? I want the forever, that's why I will put up with the marriage. This is the idea. This is the thing. So what one wants, the deepest longing and the only longing is for what? The forever. And the forever being yourself, then one looks like a fool looking for the forever in the not forever places. This is what one is doing. This is what is another definition of samsara, insanity, looking for the forever in the not forever places. Now, what is the not forever place? The whole universe. Is it forever? No. Nothing is forever, but I search for the forever in the not forever places. This is the problem. This is why Vedanta is not one more darshana, one more mata, one more way of looking at one more theology. It is not. It is a means of knowledge. It is because it is in keeping with the deepest human longing, universal human longing to be free of all limitations, and also it is in keeping with the universal longing to be happy, to be fulfilled, to be free from the notions of bondage. That is why it is universal. And then I also said two more things about Vedanta. First is that it is understandable, and then it is communicable. You can tell this to somebody else, and then they also make it is also relevant for them in their life. Now, this is how the knowledge takes place. The knowledge takes place with the operation of the words handled by a teacher. That is why the teacher becomes important. Otherwise, there are so many translations. Anybody can say, why do I need you? I have Max Muller. Yeah, first translator of the Upanishads. What did Max Muller say? That is whole. Okay? Yes. Further, this is whole. Aha. You take the whole away from the whole. Okay. What is left is the whole. I have one doubt, you say. What is the doubt? The last whole, is it spelled H-O-L-E? That is the doubt. Or is it W-H-O-L-E? It is W-H-O-L-E. How is this possible? Therefore, this is not true. The Upanishad is not for reading. However, everything has an exception. If you insist on reading the Upanishad, I always tell people, keep one glass of water and one painkiller next to you, because you will definitely get a headache. You will get a migraine. This is what will happen. The Upanishad is handed down in the form of live words. Live words. The Shastra is a heap of words. The Upanishad is a heap of words. It is made alive, it is cooked, nicely simmered. And every teacher puts some masala on it also to make it relevant to that particular generation, that particular set of people who are to study from that teacher. That is why the teachers keep on flowing, and the students keep on flowing, and the knowledge therefore remains timeless, remains unassailed by anything. There is no atrophy in this knowledge. There is no dropping in this knowledge. It's not like the telephone game, you used to play as children. Do you remember that? Yeah. 20 people, it should be whispered, and then what? You whispered, and then the word is mustard seed, and after going through 20 years, it becomes mountain. Yeah. How did this happen? Somebody dropped the ball somewhere. So too, why can't it be like this with the lineage? Some teacher can drop the ball. Bad teacher. Yeah, possible. Bad teacher can drop the ball. Bad teacher who did not study well and whose pramana, whose inheritance of the pramana was not perfect. An imperfect teacher can cause the whole parampara, the lineage, the chain of teacher students to completely go. Correct? Wrong. How? Why not? Why not is because it is not teacher-centric. This is a knowledge that is not at all teacher-centric in the sense of individual-centric. It is guru-centric in the sense of the knowledge is received in a particular way and internalized in that particular way, but it is not centered on an individual. So even if there may be bad apples in the parampara, the knowledge is intact, because for every one person who may not have transmitted this properly, every other person is transmitting this excellently, so the knowledge remains intact. This is something which is very, very beautiful. So the Shastra is there, the Bhagavad Gita is there, the Upanishads are there, but then they need to be, it is just like a heap of words that needs to be cooked up, simmered, and handed down in a way that is relevant for that particular set of people. It should speak, it should open the heart, it should make an impact, otherwise the words are of no use. This is how the knowledge, the means of knowledge operates, and it is absolutely foolproof. The proof is in the student's head. There is something that happens in the student's head, and that itself is the proof. There is no other proof that is required. The student is transformed, becomes the teacher, as we will see in Nachiketa's case, gets the knowledge, goes away, becomes the teacher, is capable of teaching others, and so that is why it is foolproof. Because the proof is in the pramana operating itself. That is where the proof is. It's like supposing somebody has what is called eye surgery. They go and have eye surgery. And then they have to be under, both the eyes are affected, both the eyes are operated upon, and then for 7 days the bandages are there. 8th day the doctor comes, opens the bandages and tells the person, please open your eyes. No, doctor. Come on, the surgery was successful. There is no reason why you can't see. The infection is gone. All the problems that were there are gone. Open the eyes. No. Why not? What if I can't see? Therefore, I don't want to be disappointed. Therefore, what will I do? Keep the eyes closed for the rest of my life. Like who? Gandhari. In the Mahabharata, there is a character, quite a character she is, pun intended, she is a real character. Okay, so I will keep my eyes closed, meaning I will not operate this means of knowledge to be able to see. This is the problem. So this is the only reason why the knowledge does not take place, because even though I don't operate the pramana called Shabda, the pramana, the means of knowledge in the form of words of the Shastra handled by a teacher, even though I do not operate them, what happens? I have to be receptive. If that receptivity is not there, then the knowledge does not take place. The receptivity is not there, no point in even exposing yourself to the knowledge. And the receptivity has a name. The receptivity means giving the benefit of doubt to the teacher, to the text. It is called Shraddha. That is the meaning of receptivity, an open mind which gives the benefit of doubt to the speaker, to the teacher, and to the text. Before itself, if I prejudged it, that means what? I am not ready to see the truth. 2 plus 2 will become 7 for me as a result. In every pramana operation, I have to have Shraddha. Even in something simple as seeing a flower, I have to have Shraddha behind the eyes. My Shraddha has to be there behind the eyes. I have to say, the eye cannot be wrong. The rose is red. Why do you say it is red? I saw it with my own eyes. You see how I am giving Shraddha to the eyes? If you come and say, no, it is blue, I will say, no, I have seen it with my own eyes. Same thing. You were talking bad about me this morning. No, I just told you in such respect, I can never do that. I know, I heard it with my own ears. You didn't know I was there, but I heard it. Somebody can say, correct? And so, this way, it is easy for us to have Shraddha in our own operations of the pramana. In the pramanas that we operate, there is 100% Shraddha. Total Shraddha is there in the pramanas. I operate. My eyes, I am the operator. Who do the eyes belong to? Me. Who do the ears belong to? Not the neighbor, me. And I have full confidence in my ears and my operation of these ears. And I have full confidence in my inference, in my comparison, all these pramanas. But the Shabda Pramana, the Pramana in the form of the Upanishad and the Gita in the form of Vedanta, is operated not by you. Who is it operated by? Guru, teacher. Ajnana timirandhasya jnana anjana shalakaya chakshurun militayena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. This is what is there in the Guru Gita. Beautiful text, a portion of which you will be studying in the chanting class. So here what is said is that Tasmai, unto that teacher my salutations. Who is this teacher? The teacher who did surgery. The teacher does an operation. Operation? Yes. Surgery. What kind of surgery? Cataract surgery. Timirandhaha. Timirandhaha means cataract. So, the Ayurvedic term for cataract, Timirandhaha. Timirandhaha means that growth which happens after 60, 70 years old, which makes you see double or which makes you see all dark, even though there is a lot of light, you feel the room cannot be lit up enough. That is called cataract. It, in other words, obstructs and distorts the vision. This is what is called cataract. In the olden days also, from this shloka, it looks like they had some kind of cataract surgery. And so now we have cataract surgery where using the scalpel that eclipse is removed, that growth on the eye is removed. And it is just a 5-minute surgery. It is gone, and then proper lenses are put, and then the person can see again. Even in the ancient time, they appear to have something like this, because the cataract here is a metaphor for the cataracted vision of division, of duality. A cataract patient sees double, and then a person with what? The cataract of duality also sees double. And what is this cataract? Ajnana, self-ignorance. The person under the influence of self-ignorance sees a distorted view of oneself, the world, and Ishvara, God. And so therefore this correction has to take place. So for this person who is Ajnana Timirandhaha, meaning the one who is having the cataracted vision due to self-ignorance. And what did the teacher do? Jnananjana Shalakaya, took a little instrument, dipped it in the ointment of knowledge and applied it to the eyes, so that the cataracts of division, the cataracts of duality caused by Atma Ajnanam, self-ignorance, would just melt. Jnananjana Shalakaya, through the scalpel of knowledge, the cataract has been incised. Chakshuhu Unmilitam. So therefore finally it's like opening the eyes for the first time, seeing everything bright. The cataracted patient sees everything dark and distorted, and then when the cataract is removed, oh my God, I didn't know the world was so beautiful. Similarly, the one with the Ajnana cataract also looks upon the world as a cause of pain, as a cause of sorrow, as a cause of all kinds of problems. And once this cataract is removed, oh, the world is so benign, the world is so beautiful. It cannot and does not affect me. This is the understanding, a very beautiful understanding. And so therefore we have this lovely poem which talks about the operation of the knowledge. And here you don't operate this knowledge. That's why it is harder to have Shraddha. But once we know this, it is something that we can cultivate. And this is how the knowledge takes place. And then nobody comes to this knowledge very easily. Some blows in life we have to have endured. Some blows have to be endured. Because if everything is going well, who will think of Vedanta? No one. Vedanta, Shmedanta, oh, what is this Vedanta? Why should I think of Vedanta? Because who is the doer? Me. Who is the knower? Me. What is happening? Everything because of whom? Me. Me. And it's a me without me mamsa. You see, it's an unenquired me. Who is this me? As good as the body, as good as the mind, as good as what I know, as good as what I don't know. This is what it is. Then slowly, what happens is that I understand that I am not the mover and shaker of situations. I am not the mover and shaker of people. I am not the mover and shaker of anything actually, because I work very hard, the neighbor gets the promotion. And then I run away to an ashram, there also I do seva. The seva rosters are out, by the way. Yeah. And there also I do seva, and then after that, somebody else gets the credit. How did this happen? It was me, but that person took away the whole credit, came at the last minute. We call such a person what is that called? The sprinkler of the cardamom powder. Because whenever you make the sweets, Indian sweets, then there is a very aroma. The common seasoning is cardamom powder. There's a nice aroma. You feel like eating it. So somebody has slogged over this the whole time, stirring, putting the sugar and putting the ghee and doing all this till they have repetitive stress injury in one shoulder, and they have slogged. And then somebody else sways along nicely and then puts the thing, and everybody goes, "Oh, you made it, how nice." What a travesty. But this is how it is in life. You work very hard, somebody else gets the credit. And you do something, and then it all goes wrong. Somebody else does something, and they get it right. Is this fair? No, at least it doesn't seem to be fair. And when we have these kinds of repeated blows, repeated difficulties, and when we are backed into a corner between, they say many things, between the rock and a hard place. I've never understood that. Okay, hard place is also another rock. So I don't understand this. But then I like the other one better, between the frying pan and what? The fire. That's a better one. Because if I jump out of the frying pan, where am I going to go? Straight into the fire. Straight into the fire. So I can't jump out, I can't remain there. Then only you start thinking, there must be something else. That's when you start noticing ashrams. That's when you start noticing orange beings. Okay? So then only it becomes a little attractive, and then so too it was for Arjuna. Look at Arjuna, very great warrior. In fact, he was the only one who had gone to heaven and come back while alive, okay? Don't say even I went after my last life. No. The one who went to heaven, went to Kailasa, and not this Mansarovar Yatra, not that Kailasa, the abode of Lord Shiva. The heaven, which is the abode of Lord Shiva, he went to Swarga and then got one weapon, Pashupata Astra, from Lord Pashupati, from Lord Shiva. This Pashupata Astra, then he brought back intact in his own form. Very few people are like that, who have gone to another loka and come back. Nachiketa is one more example, we will see that. And so like this, very few examples, and then he has gone and come back. Imagine how much prowess he must have, how much meditation he would have done, how much good karma he would have done. And then he has come back, and then he is a great warrior. He has excelled all the other warriors. He could hit a moving target, not looking at it directly, but looking at its reflection in a moving body of water. He could hit the eye of the fish, which was suspended on a circling pole, by looking in the water of the fountain, which was again moving. He could unerringly do that. His focus was so much. He was ambidextrous, Savyasachin. He could shoot off the arrows very well, as well with a dominant hand as with a non-dominant hand. And this is Arjuna. the prize of the Pandavas. And then what happened? Series of mishaps. That's why Arjuna is very relatable. The Bhagavad Gita is so relatable because of this. Series of mishaps. Everything is going very well, and then what? And then comes disaster after disaster after disaster. In fact, he grows up along in a kind of a difficult situation of a usurped kingdom. His father abdicates the kingdom and goes away, and then has an early death. And his mother he's raised by a single mom, Kunti, 5 brothers, all of them raised by a single mother, and then staying in this palace. And since the father is not there and the princes are very young, the kingdom falls into the hands of the father's brother, who is what? Blind. In fact, it says in the Dharma Shastra that if one is Vikalanga means disabled in some way, especially with regard to the eyes and all that, cannot be the king, because you have to have your eyes and ears open. Here we see one violation of the rule. He has usurped the throne, he has taken the throne, and he should keep it in custody till the rightful owners grow up. But no, his son Duryodhana takes the kingdom, wreaks havoc upon the kingdom, and then throughout the life there are conflicts. Throughout their young adulthood there is conflict, but then the kingdom is divided into 2, Indraprastha and Hastinapura. And then the kingdom that was the part of the kingdom that was allotted to the Pandavas, thanks to Duryodhana, very, very wily fellow, thanks to his nefarious ideas, is the one which is rocky. Nothing will grow. Nothing will grow there. Arid, rocky, acidic land. But then the Pandavas, because of their sheer dint of hard work and because they were lovers of dharma, got all the devatas to come and plant the plants and trees, and before one could know it, their kingdom became greener than Duryodhana's kingdom. Why am I saying this? Because this caused Duryodhana to become the greenest thing in the whole of ancient India. Why? He was green with jealousy. Terrible monster, this jealousy. And then he wanted that also now, and then the war was going to break out. Krishna, who was like, as Swamiji mentioned in the previous class, like a friend, like a mentor to the Pandavas, tried to stop the war, but he could not. And then in the middle there was they were in a dysfunctional relationship, Arjuna and his brothers, along with Duryodhana, etc. What is this kind of a dysfunctional relationship? Because the people, it's a very funny situation where the aggressors, Duryodhana and all his brothers, act as though they are victimized. This is a very strange thing. We find this in the realm of human affairs also. The ones that are affected say they are actually are the aggressors. The aggressors cry victim. This is the problem. That's why it's a dysfunctional relationship. This is actually brilliant because it staves away any other problem, and then they keep saying, I want, I don't have. There is no need for the Duryodhana to lack anything. There is absolutely no need. He and the princes grow up in the same palace, surrounded by the same royal fineries, surrounded by the same situations, same opportunities, same teacher of archery, Dronacharya. Still, there is a lack. They grow up with a sense of want, but yet they are the aggressors. Yet they keep on bullying these people, gaining themselves the epithet of Atatayin. Atatayin means terrorist. They were the first example of ancient terrorist. Duryodhana especially. There is a definition. Everything in Sanskrit has a definition in the Shastra. The terrorist also has a definition. Who is a terrorist? 6 activities are listed, and even if you do one of them, you are a terrorist. What are they? So, Agnidaha. Agnidaha means the person who is an arsonist. An arsonist. So, then a poisoner. Someone who poisons other people. An arsonist, a poisoner, and then Kshetraharaha, the one who usurps the lands of other people. Daraharaha, the one who usurps the spouse of other people. The one who does that. And so like this, there are 6 things. Oh, the one who kills somebody unarmed. So if somebody unarmed comes in front of you, you must not do anything to them, because they have no way of defending yourself. This is an ancient rule. But here, these people would go and even kill the unarmed person. So like that, no morals, no ethics. And if one of them is enough to be called a terrorist, Duryodhana checks out in the affirmative for all 6 conditions. He poisoned Bhima, he has taken away he tried to kill all of them by setting fire to a house of wax that he had made, and then he would be very, very charming in the front, but his specialty was backstabbing everybody at the end. This is what he would do. And so Agnidaha, like this, all 6 conditions he fulfilled, and therefore what happened? He was just unbearable person. Absolutely unbearable person. Plus he had an advisor, his mom's brother, Shakuni. Shakuni means, the one who is fortunate, but here it means the most unfortunate one. Sometimes the names are also like that. And then, along with this uncle, cooked up the plan to divest the Pandavas, these 5 brothers, or the sons of Pandu, from the kingdom, from their any claim to the kingdom. And the tricks are very old. You have a game of dice, and the dice are loaded by Mr. Shakuni. Maybe he is Dr. Shakuni, PhD in nefarious activities. Yeah. So the dice are loaded. So whenever the Pandavas throw the dice, they are getting only Kali. Kali means conflict. Kali means 0. Kali means, you can't advance forward. But whenever they throw the dice, they are getting Satya. See, the 4 names of the Yuga is also the names of the dice in the Mahabharata. Dice throws. Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali, same names. And then the Pandavas, dysfunctional and dysfunctionally connected to these people. And then what else? They are also addicted to the game of dice, and it's very easy to become addicted. You go to some kind of a gambling place, and then they keep you hooked by, what is that called? By the logic, by the philosophy of intermittent rewards. If each time you threw something, the dice, you kept losing, then you will stop playing. The mind is not a fool. You stop playing. But this intermittent reward philosophy or logic keeps you hooked. How? Because once in a while you get something. That means what? Next time also I'll get. Next 10 times you don't get. Then you are so upset, you say, okay, I'm going to leave this. I'll just give one more try and I'm going to leave this. That try you get. And you get more than what you put in, and then it keeps you going. So how did the scientists learn of this intermittent rewards? Through the Mahabharata only. So then, like this, They lost their kingdom, they put it at stake because they didn't have any money. And even though in the Hindu Dharma, women and children are not considered property, that is why, as we will find out in the story, in the Kathopanishad, when this father of Nachiketa, Vajashravas, when he has to give everything, he does not give his son. His son is not up to be given. Son is not property. Daughter is not property. Spouse is not property. In this sense, we were much ahead of Victorian England, where everybody, women and children, were considered property of the man, the master. Never were women considered property, but here they forgot all that, the ego saying, oh, this is our wife, and they staked her as well. And then they got into another, and then some elders intervened and said, whatever you are doing is very bad, give them a chance to redeem the kingdom, and redeem everything, this is not okay. And they must not have staked the wife, this is not something we will honor, and this is not happening. So when they were chided as such, in this manner, what did Duryodhana and his 100 brothers do? What did they do? What they did, 99 brothers, okay? Yeah, and he had one sister also. And so what did they do? They put a condition, 2 conditions. One is they would go away to the forest for a period of 12 years. Nobody should see them. They should go to the forest, and then the 13th year they can come back. Yes and no. They can come back, but they have to have what is called anonymous living, ajñātavāsa. They should not be seen anywhere. Imagine how difficult it is to hide Bhima, 7-footer. Yeah, very difficult. And he knew all that. He said they should not be seen anywhere. And it's very difficult to hide Arjuna also, because he is so intelligent, quick and everything. Very difficult to hide these 2 fellows. The other 2 can mingle with the crowd. The other 3 could have mingled with the crowd, but nonetheless these 2 were really difficult to hide. So you have to do this. And then after the 13th year, if you successfully survive the forest, if you successfully survive the ajñātavāsa, the incognito living, then you can have a share of your kingdom back. And you see, there are all these, TV shows now called Wild and Living in the Jungle and everything, and all this. And then people are given one small little tool, and they are supposed to dig up the fruits and roots and live there. It might be nice for reality TV, but even then it is very, very difficult. Very difficult to survive that. Even in these days, what to talk of back then? Back then, if you were sent to the forest, you were prospective lunch for a big cat. That's what it was. As soon as the big cats, tiger, lion, cheetah, puma, all these things, they heard that some people were being sent to the forest, they got very happy. Ooh, very easy. This is what is called Swiggy. Okay? Yeah. Swiggy is a service, okay, where you can get the food to the door. I'm sure people have already tried it in the ashram. And if not, I'm giving people ideas. So this Swiggy, Piggy, like that, many services. No, Piggy is not a service. Piggy is for whom the Swiggy is. Okay? Yeah. So Swiggy is for piggies. And so this Swiggy, they're like this. The big cats, as soon as they heard Vanavasa, forest dwellers, all these people are going to be sent to the forest. Rama, Lakshmana, Sita going to the forest, and the whole Pandavas, 5 brothers going to the forest. They thought it was home delivery. They didn't have to go anywhere. Lunch is coming to them. They were very excited. Oh, no hard work today. Just sit and eat. So, In those days, it was very difficult to survive the forest, even for a day, even for 12 days, what to talk of 12 years. It took great good karma to be able to do that. But however, we find that the Pandavas did it because they were meant to live. They had strong genes, whatever it was. They had good karma, they had good fortune on their side, and thanks to the grace of Bhagavan, they were able to make it out of the forest. And for that 1 year, as I told you, one of the brothers was a foodie, and then he was also a very good cook. But he was huge. Huge means tall. He was not fat. He was just big boned. This was Bhima. Where to hide him? Since he was fond of food, they made him a chef in the kitchen of a king's palace, a friendly king of the kingdom of Virat. And then how to hide Arjuna, that is also another problem. But here also, Arjuna was very quick-witted, because once what happened was that Arjuna was visited by a nymph in heaven. Nymph in Sanskrit is Apsara. So this Apsara comes and dances, and she is ready to propose. She in fact proposes to Arjuna, and Arjuna says, "No, thank you. I don't want to marry you." You know, there is a saying that a woman scorned is a furious woman. And then, because she is from Swarga, what can she do? Give out a curse. So she curses Arjuna. What does she say? "May you be emasculated." What? Me? Why are you doing this? And then I forgot. I'm not very good with all these stories, but somebody comes and intervenes and then makes it just for 1 year. And this curse has to be, can be redeemed at Arjuna's will. So now Arjuna, in order to hide from all of them, uses this curse and becomes the teacher, an emasculated teacher in the women's quarters in the palace. All the princesses and queens, he is teaching dance and song and painting. He was very good at all these 3 things. That's why Arjuna is so accomplished. So 1 year he spent dancing, singing and painting, and then as the time came up, these people, unscrupulous, without any morals, just faked one border skirmish with some cows and all these things, and then forcing the Pandavas to come out of hiding, so that they could say, "Aha, you have violated the rules of this." But they forgot that there was Adhika Masa, our version of, not leap year. Leap year means just 1 day. February will have 29 days. For us, we have, since we are on a lunar calendar, every other month, every other year, we have to have an extra month. So it was during this extra month in the calendar that so these people, Duryodhana, not terribly bright for these kinds of things, had miscalculated. In fact, the time was already up, and then war was declared. Now, forget the war and forget all that. We have to look into the journey of Arjuna's mindset. Throughout the 12 years in the forest, did he ever at any given time say, "Oh, there are so many sadhus I am encountering," because they are all where? In the forest only. Did he say that? Wonder what they know. Let me sit at their feet and study. Let me ask for this knowledge. The thought did not even cross him. Not even once. Not once did he. In fact, the whole lot of them were very, very bloodthirsty. He was not a pacifist. He was not against war. In fact, if you had asked him to fight anybody, he would have done so with no problem at all. And then they were all very bloodthirsty. Draupadi could not suffer this insult, where Dushasana, the badly behaved one, of Duryodhana's brother, what did he do? He pointed to his lap and said, "Come and sit on my lap." She could not forget that insult. She's a royal princess. She's a queen. Could not forget this insult. And she said, "I'm going to stop combing my hair until you get the blood from the thigh of this fellow. And I'll make special hair oil with that. And then I will massage my scalp. Until then I'm stopping combing my hair even." Imagine. And then they were all very much looking forward to the war because they didn't see any other way out. The ego was riding high. They felt invincible. And then they were ready for this war. And even though Lord Krishna himself went to mediate, as I said, he was unsuccessful. Why? It is Lord Krishna. Lord should be able to do anything. Because what? Almighty, all knowledge. Yes, but then Lord cannot go against his own order. The order of karma is also what? A manifestation of Ishvara. Order of dharma, manifestation of Ishvara. So the Bhagavan cannot go against himself, and so therefore had to come back empty-handed without any deal signed. He asked, "Give them 5 principalities." No. Give them 1 principality with 5 villages. No. Give them 1 village with 5 houses, let them live in peace. No. Give them 1 house with 5 rooms. No. And he says, "Please don't bother to go further. Let me just tell you, I will not give them even the little bit of land as is occupied by the tip of a pin," which is what? No land at all. War breaks out. And then there are certain rules for the war, and then war happens, and then everybody, the signal that the war has started is through the conch shells. There are wonderful conch shells, and they blow the conch shell to show what their lung power is, so they can go rah, rah, rah like this and create, because see, it's not easy to go and kill. Who has the heart to do that, to kill a fellow being? So the war is this fake place where you have to just drum up some kind of a prowess that you don't really have, because one is empathetic. That person is just like you, but you have to go and kill them. So therefore all these things, kettle drums, conch shells, and then these cow bells, all these things causing a big din. And then you remember the insults and you go marching forward even more. Or if you're an animal, you drive it forward. If you're a horse, if you're on a horse, or if you're in an elephant, chariot, whatever it is, you drive it forward with great gusto, and you look to the other side. Oh, they have gone few more paces ahead. Let me also do this. It becomes a huge performance. And then one forgets oneself, really. Because one is in this persona that whatever it takes in order to do this. Arjuna also forgot himself. He forgets Lord Krishna. And then he orders Lord Krishna, who has now become what? The chariot driver. How did he end up as chariot driver? Both Duryodhana and Arjuna go to Lord Krishna when he is sleeping, afternoon nap. Bhagavan cannot nap, okay? If Bhagavan naps, we will have what? Pralaya, dissolution of the entire universe. So we have to say, as though nap. Yeah. Duryodhana with all his aplomb stands at the head. Arjuna comes, sits at the feet. If you're a sleeping person and your eyes open, who do you see first? The one at the feet. Oh Arjuna, you have come. I came first, he says. Who? Duryodhana. Oh, you are also there? Yeah. And he knew. Lord Krishna knows. Nobody comes for a cup of chai in the afternoon. It's not that they have come to hobnob and have some chai and biscuits and they'll go away. They want much more than that. They want something big. They have come to ask. Duryodhana says, I am first. I have to ask first. Me. Yes, you may have come first, but I saw Arjuna first. He will get the first chance. And then what happens? Duryodhana is very scared. Arjuna will ask for the invincible Yadava army belonging to Lord Krishna. The Yadava army is famous because they are indestructible, invincible army. Only one Yadava can be the cause of the downfall of the another Yadava. And so too it is in Indian politics even today, in East Indian politics. No one can bring them down. And so this Yadava army he wanted, because he wanted to win the war, he was very afraid Arjuna will ask. He held his breath till he became purple. He was waiting to exhale. Arjuna said, I want you to be with me. Very famous words, very important words. Very metaphoric too. You are asking the Lord to be with you. And Lord Krishna says, I don't fight, I don't take sides. You decide, do you want a non-fighting me or do you want a fighting army, which I am ready to give you? He says, no, I want you. A very important choice, because you don't go for the finite. What do you go for? The infinite. He chooses the infinite. This is all a metaphor here. Beautiful. He chooses the infinite and let go of the finite army to Duryodhana. Duryodhana is very happy. He gives Arjuna a hug. Oh, very nice. Nice bro. Thanks bro. You did not ask for this. This is wonderful. All for me. Yes, all for you. Take it. But what he has is the Bhagavan in the form of the hidden variables that can decide, that can be the deciding factor between success and failure. So too is it in our lives, in the everyday. What is success? What is failure? See, this is very interesting because you can take care of all the variables. You can make sure that if, let's say, you have to go to an important job interview, you can keep the alarm clock, make sure you wake up on time, get dressed on time. You can make sure that there is petrol in the car, so you don't run out on the road. You go in advance, you keep extra half an hour, 1 hour, so that you account for, what is that called? Traffic. You account for traffic. And then what? Hidden variable. How? In the form of a nail on the road. What did you do? Drive over the nail. Flat tire. The opportunities that shone very nicely suddenly became flat, even though everybody was helpful. You kept saying, I have to go. They said, yes, we will help you. They help you to change the tire. They help you, or they push the car to the side, lock it up. Somebody even gives you the ride to the interview. The damage is already done. You are late. You see, this is what is called hidden variable. The non-hidden variables we can control through our will, through our observation, but the unobserved, invisible variables, they are there. They are in the form of Bhagavan, in the form of the karmic order. And in choosing the Lord, Arjuna chose to have a say over the hidden variables. Arjuna chose the one who is in the form of hidden variables, so that the hidden variables were all taken care of, as we see in the story of the Mahabharata, very beautifully. And that is what is causing making the difference and causing the Pandavas to win the war. Even though they had a smaller army of 12 units, and then the Duryodhana and all, they had an army of 18 units. So the army was 1.5 times bigger, but still they won the war. Why? Krishna is on the side of dharma, on the side of what is correct, what is right. Therefore, the last verse of the Bhagavad Gita says, Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishnaha, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha. Where there is Lord Krishna, and where there is a teacher like that, and where there is a student like Arjuna, there definitely there will be a few things. Tatra Shrihi. Shrihi means abundance. The sense of lack is gone. Because of this, Bhagavan is all abundance. So the abundance is not just getting money and getting riches and all things. Abundance is in the heart. When there is abundance in the heart, there is no sense of lack we feel with regard to the world. I am enough. I have enough. That is the new mantra. And then, so this is Shrihi Vijayaha, success in all endeavors. The ultimate success is success in Vedanta. Then Bhutihi. Bhutihi means all material comforts that one wants. As I said yesterday, if you choose moksha, all these come for free. Dharma, artha, kama come for free. Oh, so if I choose dharma, artha, kama, moksha comes for free? No. The people were waiting to answer because they had a small hope. Maybe, yes. No. Absolutely not. And so the war breaks out with all this din and noise, and Arjuna forgets himself. This humble Arjuna who sat at the feet of the Lord, begging him to be on his side, forgets himself. Thinks of himself as commander-in-chief. I have to take this. I am the doer. I am the one taking these people to victory. Poor Krishna is also abused. How? What? How? Well, he says, chauffeur, driver. See, most of the time, if you hire a driver to go somewhere, we don't even bother. Most people don't even bother to know the name. What is your name? Who cares? Don't know. The generic name is what? Driver. That's what it is. This is how he addresses the Lord. Hey Achyuta. Achyuta is one of the names of Lord Krishna. Achyutihi navidyate yasya, the one who has no downfall. Hey Achyuta, hey you, driver. Put my chariot in between the two armies so that I can see very clearly who are these idiots who dare to fight with me. Kairmaya sahyodhavyam. And then, let me see. Yothyamanan. All these people who are there to fight, desiring to fight. Avekshya. I want to see them. Having seen them, then I'll decide what to do. I'll show them. All I have to do is twirl my mustache and half of them will run away. Because Duryodhana's army, especially of the foot soldiers, were people just that were threatened and taken from the farms. They were just ploughing the farms and then they were taken to be conscripted in the army. They did not even know how to button up their uniform. Yeah, one was extra. Sometimes when you don't look and button the coat like this, one button here, one button there, they were like that. They had no idea. They had just been given the uniform and given some bow and arrow. They didn't know how to hold it. They did not know what to do with it. And then Arjuna said, I'll make short shrift of them all. Half the army will retreat. I just have to touch my mustache, which is nice. What is that called? Handlebar mustache. Like the handle of the door. Now, this door doesn't have it, but there are some doors which have like this. And so the mustache is like that. I just have to touch my mustache. These fellows will be this is just roadside riffraff. I can just dispense with them. And so saying, he says, put my chariot. Hey you, driver, put my chariot in between the two armies. And then let me see what to do. Let me inspect them. Let me do nirikshanam. Let me inspect them. I am the commander-in-chief. Let me do this. And Lord Krishna says, yes, he could have got offended. I am the Lord. How are you treating me? This was not part of the deal. How much you begged the other day. Sitting at my feet begging. Now what you are doing? No. Quietly he says, yes, but with Lord Krishna, there is much more in the action than in talk. Doesn't bother talking. And with Krishna there's always a twist. That's why he stands in a twist. Tribhangi, 3 twists are there. Some trick is there. He puts the chariot in front of both the armies, just as he was requested. Aye, sir, here is what I'm going to do. And then he inches the carriage little bit further to where all the elders are standing, teachers. And then, who else? Grandsire, Bhishma, uncles, cousins, everybody in whose lap Arjuna grew up. And then all his aplomb, all his fearlessness, all his bloodthirstiness for the war undergoes a very big change because he finds himself unable to fight all these people. Why? Because they are his people. They are his people. How to fight my own people, he doesn't know. And that is the desperate situation of being between the fire and the pan, frying pan. Where to go, he cannot see. So what does he do to get out of this? We will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. The Gita chanting class has been moved here because yesterday we were all sitting in each other's